Can I say that episode 1 did so well? I believe that episode 1 did better than what I originally thought it was gonna do. I'm so blessed and so thankful for all the engagement. I'm thankful for all my family members that are watching, all my friends that are watching. And if you don't know me, let me introduce myself just a little more. My name is Chastity, but I go by Chaz. I'm a stallion, born in Miami, raised in the A. I'm also a Haitian baby, Zo baby, Sak Passe baby. And then I'm also 22 years old, born May 1st, tourist gang stuff, love it. And I also love the beach. I love the beach. Like, what do you love? Let's check in with each other. How about you guys comment down below some black hearts if you're on Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment down below what era of life you're in right now. What's your era? Are you in your soft girl era? Are you in your hot girl era? Are you in your God's timing era? So yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm engaging with my people in my community, because this is a community for everybody, for creatives, for somebody trying to find their way, somebody trying to find their niche. It's for everybody. So let me know how you're doing down below. The reward is worth the struggle, y'all, and I'm gonna dive deeper into what that means. Episode 2 is about the reward is worth the struggle, and it allows you to place yourself in God's timing, divine timing, time management, your timing, whatever you take away from this is going to be about timing. Because I don't know if I mentioned, but this episode was supposed to be originally dropping the past Thursday. And I wasn't able to do it because a bunch of things happened, basically. Personal things happened. And I got into a small little wreck with my car. Thank the Lord, I'm fine, y'all. I'm good. But my car did suffer some minor damages with the wheel and the alignment and some other parts I had to get. And I wasn't on my side of town when this wreck happened. So it kind of caused me to have a setback. And I had to be in a different environment, a different space, without my equipment, without my laptop, without my iPad, without, anything. And it kind of put me in a period of resting. The whole situation happening with my car made me want to talk about this topic even more. Have you ever gotten so close to a finish line or your end goal that you can taste it, that you can feel it? You can literally grab it in your hands. Like, you feel it in your hands and you're like, bro, it's right there. And every time you get closer and closer and closer, it feels like it's being pushed back even more. That feeling is kind of the worst feeling other than having a creative burnout. Discouraged me in a way. It makes me feel like a little bad in a way. I kind of talked about this within my episode 1, Recharging Your Creativity, about timing. And it kind of gets discouraging when, you're in that burnout period of time and time is just slipping through your hands. Like, you blink and it's literally a year has gone by and you haven't done what you wanted to do. And it gets difficult and discouraging when that finish line keeps getting pushed away and it's almost in arm's reach, and every single time your position is getting pushed back to the left or to the right or to the back. And it feels like, it sucks, period, point blank. It sucks, booty hole. It sucks. Like, nobody likes that. We often get so far in life that we forget to look back and see how far we've come. We forget to look back and see how many miles we ran to even get close to this finish line. We get so stuck in our head that we forget that we once didn't know how to run, how to tie our laces. We forget that we once started off so low. And during this time, majority of your peers might be like, oh, just keep pushing, just keep going and remain positive. And though that is amazing advice, it's kind of cliche in a way, because that's like the NPC automatic thing somebody's going to say when you're feeling just down in the dumps about, bro, I was so close to getting this promotion. I was so close to getting this job. I was so close to getting, my degree. I was so close to graduating. I was so close to hitting 1 million views. I was so close to getting the dream car I wanted to get. I can give you some more advice on how to deal with not feeling like you're not reaching the finish line, or how to keep yourself in the race to reach the finish line. So today's episode is learning about the reward, the struggle, and learning about timing. And I think that my story, or my situation with why my episode got pushed back, relates to this so well, because I was on a set schedule of filming my podcast. So when I got into my car wreck and I was hydroplaning on the road, and I bumped my car, it kind of put a standstill pause in everything that I was doing. So therefore my schedule was even more kind of pushed back than what I wanted it to be. And I have to have a schedule, or it's not going to get done. If I have a project in my head, I have to plan it out for the whole 10 weeks that I want to do it, and then go by that every day. But somehow, some way, things get in the way and causes you to be pushed back more than you want to. So what I do is I clarify all of my goals. You want to clarify all of your goals, and use this time to really reflect on your goals, because I have a lot of goals that I want to do. Reflect on what your goals are. Do they align with you? Are they achievable? Some people have goals to start flying, and I like to eat chicken wings, but I ain't seen nobody with wings growing out their back yet. So make sure that your goals are realistic. My favorite thing to do when clarifying my goals is to write them out. I have a sketchbook that I got from Five and Below, and I have colorful markers, and each month, or each so often era time, whatever timing you're on, I write down a list of 5 goals. How are you going to break it down to make it more achievable? Because we often give ourselves such huge tasks and goals to do, because we see all these other people on Instagram getting all these nice things, getting a house, getting an apartment, getting a new car, and we just think that, boom, I'm just going to get a new car. I'm just going to get it because I'm just going to get it. And you are going to get it, but you have to break it down into smaller tasks. Large tasks and long-term goals can be daunting. So when you kind of put yourself in a situation of a small period of time, and you don't really have, the stepping stools to get to that goal, you have to break it down. Maybe I'll save $1,000 each month of the year, and that's how I'm going to save up to my goal at the end of the year. So break it down, because large tasks and long-term goals can be daunting, but they will get done. So when you focus on one of them and celebrate your progress along the way, it makes it much easier for you to not be so worried about timing and finishing that finish line. Finding an inspiration during a time like this might also be some way to help. It kind of causes you to just be like, what am I doing this for? And finding inspiration can sometimes be tricky, because we find ourselves comparing ourselves to other people naturally as human beings. That's a natural thing, that goes on. But once you find your source of inspiration, it kind of is like, yeah, I want to do this because this is what I see myself doing. This is what I want to do in the future. This is how I envision myself. It's kind of like you're manifesting it in a way, because you're envisioning yourself with the inspiration that you got. You're envisioning yourself doing your big goals and your big dreams. So once you find a source of inspiration, it can be either your mama, it could be a family member. It can be a well-known person on Instagram that you follow that's doing amazing things in the community. It could be multiple things, but find your source of inspiration. Also, take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is always going to be my answer for multiple things, not only because I am a Taurus and I love self-care. Taking care of yourself during a daunting time is very important, because for me, when I got into my small wreck, I was literally having an anxiety attack, y'all. I was having the worst panic attack ever. I think when I hit the curb and my tire bumped, I sat in silence and I was numb. I was so numb. And my boyfriend was just asking me a bunch of questions, and I was just like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like here. And he was calling his mom. And his mom was like, call your insurance. And I'm just like, it's just a bunch of murmuring. I'm the type of person, just based off how I was raised, I really get anxiety when things like this happen, and it causes me to not pay attention to myself, not feed myself, not do things that I'm supposed to do, like human needs that I'm supposed to do. And I'm just so thankful that he was there to kind of remind me to take care of myself and remind myself what my bigger goal is, and to not let this small little bump make me feel like I am not able to continue on this week and be an amazing person and be happy and be positive. Mental health kind of needs maintenance during times of feeling like you're not on track. Sometimes if you're feeling like you're not reaching your goals, it can be because your mental and your heart and your outside is probably fine, but your inside, your heart, your mind, everything is probably everywhere. It needs help. You cannot operate a car with a messed up engine. You can't. So if you're trying to race to the finish line, how can you expect your body or your car, in this reference, to race to the end if you're not doing an oil change, if you're not checking the engine, if you're not checking your fluids, if you're not changing your tires, in my case scenario? Take care of your mental health and well-being, because it helps you maintain the energy and resilience to keep going and cross that finish line. Seeking support is also important when trying to reach a goal or reach your goals and finish, because you never know who God sends in your life to give you fruitful information or blessings. At a young age, I was told to handle yourself well. I don't blame my parents for not teaching me to ask for help, but I was always taught that being independent was important. Now that I'm older and I'm learning this lesson now, that family and friends are around you to help you. Regardless of if they have anything going on in their life, they're going to help you to the most they can. That's what they're there for. They're your blood. But what I'm also learning as I get older is that you cannot do things on your own. There's a village that is here to help you. So talking to my mother, she was saying, motherly things. Are you okay? Sometimes your mom can give you a little like anxiety when things like this happen. So I was just kind of like, Mom, I'm okay, but I will keep you updated. I'll talk to you later. She told me that, remember that your uncle lives on that side of town as well. My uncle stays in Stone Mountain where my wreck happened, and I gave him a call, and he was able to help me because, like I said, I don't have a father figure that is here to help me when it comes to me having car problems, me having anything. So the way God positioned me to think of my uncle during this time was honestly a blessing, because he was able to help me basically with all my car maintenance and tell me where to go, how much the parts to get, and for me not to spend a pretty penny on my car, because if you know, mechanics at these franchises will literally make you buy extra things you don't need to buy and make you spend more money than you need to. So if I was never going to seek him in that situation, or seek to call him, or just think of him in that moment, I would have never probably been here right now to film this podcast. I probably would have still been stuck in Stone Mountain spending almost $600 just to get my alignment done on my car. Just know that I love you more than ever, Uncle. Thank you so much once again. Seeking family and friends that are placed in your life to help you might give you a piece of key information that is needed to get closer to your end goal. My uncle was the key piece needed here for me to get to this end goal. Your family and your friends are here to remind you that you're not alone in this journey. I believe that God reminds you every single time that you have a community for a reason. I place these people in your life for a reason. There's wisdom in everything that God does. There's a reasoning in everything that God does. When placing certain people in your life, make sure that you're really just engaging with them, seeing how they are doing, seeing how, having a conversation with them, opening up about your interests, opening up about your problems, because they're going to be the ones to help you push your car to that finish line, if that makes sense. Next up on the list, I have embracing your failure. When you embrace your failure, it kind of gives you a hug to yourself. I was the type of person that I did not like acknowledging my failures, and typically I would try to just act like I'm a person that does not have failures, which is total cap. Everybody goes through failures. Everybody has a time where they're not the best, and that's just human life. That's just the normal way it goes. But once you can understand that it takes a million failures to get that one loophole of success, literally, y'all, I had to understand that my car breaking down was a part of my canon event. If my car never broke down that day, I would have never had called my uncle and seen how my uncle is, and seen how his side of town is, and new ideas of just spending more time with him on that side of town would have never arisen in my head. But since I embraced my failure and I just, sucked it up, and I called people and told them, hey, my car broke down, I'm needing help. I embraced the fact that I needed help because I failed, I crashed, I was at a pivot point where I needed help, and that's okay. You have to understand that failures are a part of the natural journey, y'all. And instead of getting discouraged, take them as an opportunity for growth. I took my car crashing as an opportunity for growth because I took the time to see that my car crashing and hydroplaning as an opportunity for growth, because it naturally sat my ass down, y'all. It sat me down and allowed me to be with my thoughts and allowed me to regroup. And it aligned so much with this episode's topic. So I had to embrace the fact that I failed, and I had to embrace the fact that I made a mistake and I got into a small wreck. I made a mistake. I was been supposed to change my tires, y'all. I was been supposed to get my car looked at. But since I was not able to do so, and I kept just ignoring my car and not embracing the fact that I needed help, it caused a bigger problem. Rather than me growing and me understand this is what's needed for me to move forward in life. This is what's needed for me to be a better woman. This is what's needed for me to feel comfortable moving in my car, not having anxiety about my car breaking down or my tires giving up on me. You have to learn from your mistakes, and that time period of my car wrecking in Stone Mountain, an hour away from my house, literally allowed me to embrace my failure and understand that this was a necessary event for me to embrace my failure and for me to grow from this. Next up, I have staying focused on the present. You get caught up in the negative things, it kind of causes you to naturally slow down and not cross that finish line. It causes you to think that finish line is too far. I'm not reaching it, bro. I'm not running this race anymore, bro. I'm tired. I'm over this. I'm over these sneakers. I'm over this track. I'm over everybody passing me. You're not staying focused in the present. You're not staying focused on, dang, like, I'm far. Like, wow, the nature is pretty. I should keep going and adventuring and seeing more. I might see more along the way to the finish line. So when you're staying present, you're allowing yourself to realize how far you've come. You're allowing yourself to realize how graceful you are. You're getting too caught up on what that finish line, rope, tape, whatever it is, feels like, that you're just like closing your eyes, right? You're closing your eyes and you're trying to envision the future, but you're not really realizing where you are. You won't even realize that you're really one step away from the finish line, or a couple hops from the finish line, because you're so worried about touching the finish line that you're not staying present in the moment. Give full attention to what you're doing now and make the progress count. Once you build that momentum, time will fly by fast, and as soon as you blink, you'll open your eyes and you'll be right there holding the finish line, running across the finish line, or reaching whatever goal you have at that finish line. You kind of realize that, wow, I've been focusing on me, I've been focusing on the present, that I'm already here at the finish line. I already did it. I already got it. It's in my hands. It's mine. Like, when I first hit the curb, I became numb. I was looking around, like, people were trying to talk to me. I'm like, bro, like, like, I'm not here and I'm not present. But I was able to see that I'm in the present, and I was able to see that my wreck wasn't the end of the world. My wreck wasn't the end of me. The wreck wasn't the end of my car. It was just a stepping stool to get me closer to what God has designed for me. Next on my list, I have celebrating your milestones. Celebrate the little things in life. Celebrate, the fact that you're on a race to the finish line. Celebrate the fact that you're able to cultivate and create things, Celebrate the fact that you woke up today. Celebrate the fact that you're able to hear, smell, taste, see. Celebrate all of those small things, because one of those things gets taken away and now we feel like we're further away from our finish line than what we were before. Acknowledging your achievements gives yourself that recognition that's needed. It gives you that pat on the back that's like, girl, you did it. Girl, it don't matter if it's like a penny. You did it. You earned it. You know what I'm saying? And when you acknowledge those things, it kind of gives you like, wow, I am doing something big for myself. I am working towards my goal. I am pushing myself closer to that finish line all the way over there, It helps. It really helps, because we'll tend to acknowledge the negative more than the positive naturally sometimes. I feel like it's harder for people to recognize the positive things first naturally rather than the negative things when dealing with a situation like a car wreck. The way my mind is structured, I was kind of being thrown the most negative things possible about my wreck. I was thinking about my job. I was thinking about my bills. I was thinking about how I have to push back certain things, how I'm not going to be able to be the best podcaster alive, how I'm not going to be, all of these good things that people think of me to be, how I'm not going to be able to reach that. Those were the first things that I was thinking about, rather than celebrating the fact that I'm alive, rather than celebrating the fact that my car didn't crash into any other car and cause a bigger accident than what it caused, or recognizing the fact that I've came this far, that I have family and friends and people who genuinely love me to keep me safe, to make sure that I'm straight. Those were the things that I wish I would have celebrated, because now looking at it, it's giving me a confidence that no matter what situation is thrown at me, I know at the end of the day that I have a loving family that's going to be there for me. I know that I have the confidence that's needed. I know that I have the tools that are needed, So when you celebrate those small milestones, it allows for you to cultivate more of your time and more of your headspace, because you're not allowing the negative thoughts to circle and cause you to be stuck and cause you to sit down when you're trying to reach the finish line and trying to finish towards the goal. Next on my list, I have cultivating a positive mindset. When I'm going through stuff and somebody's just like, remain positive. Don't get me wrong, that's an amazing thing for somebody to tell you, but it's so cliche, y'all. Let's be for real. It's so cliche. Like, if my arm gets chopped off, y'all gonna tell me to remain positive? And I'm bleeding out? And I'm not telling y'all not to say that to people anymore, but I do feel like there are better things that you could tell people than remain positive. So back to my bullet point, cultivating a positive mindset, though, replaces the negative thoughts with positive ones. So this is more of like an inner work rather than telling somebody, remain positive. Because like I said in the last couple words, I was saying that when something goes wrong with me or something goes wrong in my life, I tend to fill my head up like a cup of juice with negative thoughts, like, and it's pouring and it's pouring and it's pouring, and then it overflows, and then I have a mental breakdown, and then I'm back at square one, praying to God, crying to God, because I'm having a low right now. And when you cultivate a positive mindset, it allows you to replace those negative things that you're pouring into your cup with positive things. So when this whole car wreck thing happened, I was definitely having negative thoughts. I was having really low vibrational mindsets that I didn't like. So what I did was I said a quick prayer, because God is always your friend when you're having your lowest low. And I told God, remove these thoughts from me, remove this feeling from me, like wash it over me, take it away from me. Like, I don't want to feel like this. I know this is not you, Lord. I know that your breath is within me, and I want you to remove all of these negative thoughts from me, because negative thoughts can form into negative actions, causing you to do something that you regret. So instead of pouring my cup with negative thoughts, negative feelings, I started saying positive things. I started saying, well, I'm thankful that my boyfriend's family lives here and they can give me a room to sleep in. I'm so thankful that I have somebody here that loves me, keeps me entertained, is feeding me, you know what I'm saying? I love the fact that my uncle lives down the street. I'm so blessed to have him. I'm so blessed that he has knowledge about cars. I'm so blessed that he has a friend that has knowledge about cars and worked as a mechanic before. I'm so blessed that they know how to get car parts. I'm so blessed that they replaced what a father figure does in that moment. I was so blessed that I was able to just not even be upset. I ended up staying in Stone Mountain for 5 days. Almost a week. So that one day, that first day when I crashed, it was terrible. It was so terrible. I was so upset. I was so mad. I was like upset. But like I said, I prayed for God to remove all those negative feelings from me. And once I did that, the rest of the days I stayed there felt like a vacation. Like, it's crazy, but I literally felt like I went on vacation rather than thinking, oh, I got into a car wreck. I shifted my mindset all the way to make it feel like I'm on a vacation rather than my car being stuck and broken. And because I had that mindset, I felt like the universe felt the positive energy and I was able to get my car fixed. I was able to get brand new spanking new tires, not used ones. I was able to get new parts on my car to help my car drive better. And I was able to come back home with a fresh mindset to start this podcast without any worries. So cultivating a positive mindset allows you to reach that finish line. It doesn't, because when you have negative thoughts, when you're feeding yourself negative things, that negative juice, it's going to slow you down. Naturally, it's going to slow you down, period, point blank, whether you like it or not. It's going to slow you down. So make sure that you're remaining in a positive mindset and keeping your head level-headed. And last but not least, for my last bullet point, I have, remember, what is your why? What you doing this for, girl? Like, oh, if you're not a girl, I'm sorry. But what you doing this for? What's your why? Why do you want to do this? Why do you wake up every day? Why do you think about this all the time? Why do you want this to be your main goal? Why do you love this hobby, this topic so much? Why do you want to cross that finish line so bad? Huh? Why do you want to get so close that you grab it and you snatch it and it's yours and you're like, snatchies, it's mine. Can't get it back. Kind of gives you motivation. It gives you that push to get up and do it no matter how low you are. It'll give you that jump to jump over whatever curveball you have. It gives you a reason to keep pushing, to keep running. It gives you a reason to tie your shoes tight as possible and jet across that finish line. Remember your why. Always remember your why. The reward is worth the struggle because it's a personal fulfillment of accomplishing something. It gives you a deep sense of satisfaction, fulfillment, and validation. We always want to grow and see ourselves pursuing and achieving our goals. It also gives a meddling mind a sense of purpose. Not only that, but you're also setting an example for others to follow. Sooner or later, you'll realize that you ran the whole competition with flying colors and you're at the finish line crossing gracefully. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. Be on the lookout later this week for another episode. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.